Good morning, everybody. There's a lot going on out there, so let's get to it. So we started kind of a series on AI, and maybe a quick disclaimer. Walt and I recognize AI is going to change the world. I mean, there's no doubt. Our job, though, is to separate out the ideas and actually the uses from the business side of it. Does it make money? Is it a good investment? And while it can be a great idea and great even in practice, that doesn't always make it a good investment. And we're going to continue with kind of the theme we had going last week. Wait a minute. We've got a lot of circular money going on around here that's being double counted. And maybe that's not the best investment philosophy. But let's go a little deeper. And I'd love to take credit for this research, but I'm not this smart. I listened to a podcast with a guy by the name of Harrison Cupperman. His nickname is Cuppy. I had never heard of this guy. And then as I watched more of this video, I thought, oh my gosh, this guy's really figured something out here. So I will do my best to relay what Cuppy said about the investment side of AI. And let's start with data centers. So you all know this AI takes a tremendous amount of computing power. Well, picture a building, these great big buildings with these amazing cooling structures in there to keep all those computers going, with all those chips going, generating all that heat. Those things cost money. We're going to put this year $400 billion into those buildings with all those computers, with all those cooling systems. And guess how long the life expectancy is of that building and all that technology? When does it go obsolete? Apparently within 3 to 5 years. 3 to 5 years? Wait a minute, we're going to put 400 billion into it this year. Supposedly 500 billion, half a trillion into more data centers next year, and they're going to be obsolete in 3 to 5 years? And apparently the answer is yes. And then you go, well, wait a minute, what are revenues for AI this year? I'm not talking profits, just revenue coming in on AI, 20 billion. Let's do some 400 billion in investment, and you're only going to get 20 billion in this year. I don't know, maybe go to 30 billion next year, maybe. How is this going to pay for itself? And his conclusion was, it isn't. And so in order to check on this, he took the next step. He went out to data center construction sites and he started hanging out with the guys, the guys who are building the cooling centers, the ones who are the technical guys who are putting in all the not mainframe, but the computer things in there. And they'd hang out with them after the day, at the bar, having a beer. And they were all saying the same thing. It's amazing what we're doing here, but this doesn't pencil out. I don't see how this is going to make any money. These were the guys doing it, coming back and saying, I don't see how this is going to work as an investment. So who's funding this stuff? Well, initially, as you might guess, it was venture capital firms who were looking for an idea, and no one wants to get left out. So they're pouring money in. And then you might have, private equity doing this kind of thing. And they're pouring the money in, but at what point does it start to become public knowledge that, wait a minute, it might be an amazing thing, but it's not going to return me one bit of money. What are we going to do? Well, what this is starting to look like now, and this is when you start to mix some things that have happened in the past, it's starting to look a little bit like what happened with the mortgage crisis back in 2006, 2007, before it all blew up in 2008. Here's what some of these deals are starting to look like. Let's pretend you have a $10 billion data center, just one. And they come and they convince Microsoft. Look, Microsoft put in $500 million. Microsoft says, well, we don't want to miss out totally on the AI thing in the data center, right? We will. They're in first position. Then they might go to PIMCO. PIMCO, big outfit. PIMCO says, well, we don't really want an equity position, but we will loan you money at 7%, and we'll put in $500 million of the 10. And then they might go to some big private equity firm, someone with some name ID, and they'll say, all right, We'll loan you money at 9%, and we'll go into third position. Then what happens is the Wall Street Sharpies package this up and they say, hey, we're only 8.5 billion short on this data center. Let's go out to the public. Let's go out to pension funds. Let's go out to regular people at Merrill Lynch or Morgan Stanley or whatever and say, you don't want to miss out on the AI thing. If we got a deal for you, and look, Microsoft is involved. PIMCO's involved. It's big private equity. What can go wrong? And in comes the money to fund one of these data centers that may never pay for itself, and 3-4 years from now might just go dark. This is exactly what happened with housing back in the day. What they did was they combined AAA loans, the good ones, with AA, single A. And by the way, they rated loans like eggs. AAA was the best, then AA. And by the time you get down to triple B, double B, C, this kind of thing, you're in junk status. This is what's going on right now in AI world as we fund all of these data centers. So the question we go back to again is when? When does this all come about and people go, I can't do this anymore? When does flow stop? And when flow stops, that's when this whole thing starts to come down. Now you're going to probably say, well, Greg, why should we care about that? You and Walt aren't investing in AI for any of us out here. And that's true. But to think that that won't affect us and our portfolios, no, it will. So let's pick that up next week and then talk about what we plan on doing about it. And with that, I'll turn it over to Walt.